Commence primary ignition.
Happy holidays, friends, fans, and collectors. Today we're taking a look at the Black Series holiday figures. Let's get going.
Get ready. Mission accomplished, sir.
This is a relatively new addition to the Star Wars collection, and it's nice to see it expanding over the years. The idea of these figures is taking previous Black Series figures that we've seen, giving them a repaint and a redeco for the Christmas holiday season. This mostly entails having like a fake sweater or a sweater printed over their armor to make it look like they have like a Christmas sweater on. It's really, really cute. Or we see some overemphasized colors that are red, green, white, and red. These tend to be sets of 5 figures, each of which coming from different retail store exclusives. Hasbro has also recently started to do this with Halloween figures. It's a neat idea, and I'm curious if they'll expand this in the future with other figures. Here we have a little collection of the Star Wars holiday figure options. Now we not only have the Black Series figures we've been seeing the last couple of years, but also this year's advent calendar from the Droid Factory. Here we have a front side view of some of this year's options. Now on the right we have the Target exclusive Mandalorian Warrior Holiday Edition, and on the left we have the Phase 2 Clone Trooper. Now that one was available at Hasbro and a bunch of different retailers, but the one on the right was a Target exclusive, like I said. Now I always love these variations of Clone Troopers, and this year's has him as a little gingerbread man. The Holiday Edition Mandalorian Warrior does look to be the Jango mold, but without the jetpack, it seems. And his Mandalorian chest plate is designed to have like a sweater over it, or to be painted to look like a sweater with the mythosaur on it. Now with the open bubble boxing, now we're not going to see this anymore. This is the old style of boxing for the Black Series, but this has the visible bubble and window where you can see the figure through the packaging. The packaging design really is where these figures shine. They are holiday colors with kind of a white snow backing, and there's in the snowflake there is the helmet design. So for the Clone Troopers, there's the Clone Trooper helmet. For the Mando, there's a Mandalorian helmet. It's got this red stripe, which on the other side, the siding, has its title. And we have kind of this gift tag that wraps around the side. And just like we would see on like a present. Super cool. We also get very limited flavor text. I love when they do this, but this year's says, "Celebrate the season with specially designed Star Wars figures from the Black Series." The gift tag wraps around the side, so you can store them on the side this way. You can kind of see the nice to and from in Arabesh there, and we also get the title of the figure listed in that red tag. We only get that detailing on one side. The other side has a really cute bow right above the Star Wars logo. But let's get these guys out of packaging here. Let's see what's inside. Here we have a great shot of our holiday figures out of the box. I have Range Trooper Santa from last year there in the middle, but our new figures from this year are flanked on the sides there. Each one of these figures comes with a tiny little creature accessory that's also decked out in some fun holiday gear or differently colored. So with the Clone Trooper, he comes with a Porg and a little Santa jacket, which is adorable. And then the Mandalorian comes with the creature from Jedi Fallen Order, and he's got little blue feet and a white coat, a nice white coat. And I was pleasantly surprised when we opened up the Mandalorian that he does have a green Z6 jetpack on his back there, but great to see that well-known Mandalorian accessory with this figure. These are the figures we've seen and know and love, just changed up with a different paint deco to celebrate the holidays. The special thing about these figures is the added holiday deco and the paint and detailing that we're seeing here. It's very neat how they're doing this Christmas sweater design painted over the regular armor that we see, or just the different color scheme to make it more holiday-esque. It's fun, it's nice, it's a real treat to have these things, and to bring these figures out with my holiday decorations is a new tradition that I'm enjoying. Here's a close-up of just the torso. We can really see the detail in that sweater, in the print on the Mando armor, and we can see the cute little bow tie and buttons on the Clone Trooper. Here we have the accessories for our holiday figures this year. Now, unlike the candy cane weird melee weaponry we got with the previous year's holiday figures, this year we have a repainted kind of version of the guns they would normally come with, but they're kind of nerfed. So I don't mean that in a goofy way, but these actually are the paint scheme of the Nerf variants of these guns that we've seen in real life in the last couple of years. Now we have the Ambin pulse rifle here, and we have the DS-15S carbine. We also get the nice green Z6 here. For this holiday edition, we have a solid green Z6 jetpack. It pops onto his back, and it's, there's not much color design into it, but it is nice that it shares the same shade as the rest of the figure. With these holiday figures, we also get a little accessory creature. So we have a Porg in Santa costume here with the Clone Trooper, and then we have a differently colored, like an Arctic botwing here. So nice that these figures have this tradition of coming with a little buddy, and it's always cute that they also share the unique paint scheme. Articulation for the Phase 2 Clone Trooper. Now this is a more modern print, it seems. We have kind of the soft molded pauldrons, which allow him to really bring his hands up and bring his gun up to his face. It's a nice mold. I'm not exactly sure when and where it was from, but it's an updated Phase 2 mold that gives us some of the more modern articulation. That being said, we have our ankles, toes, ball-jointed toes, ball-jointed knees. The one thing that is a little bit strange about it in articulation-wise is that we have great articulation of the leg and knee, but in this design, the knee pad is attached to the thigh, whereas sometimes it's independent and over the actual knee. So it's attached to the thigh, and it goes with the thigh. So even when you have the knee bent like this, the knee pad is kind of to the side. It looks a little strange. But other than that, very nice articulation. Going on up, we have nice butterfly jointed arms. We have the pauldrons that are malleable, so they're able to bend on back like that, so we can fully tee with his arms. We have a neck joint. We don't have two joints in the neck, so it's not as advanced as we've seen some of the articulation forms, but still pretty nice for these holiday figures. Now, the Mandalorian Warrior, on the other hand, now this is a mold that we've seen for several different figures. They've been using it as often as they can. It is not the best articulated mold. It is actually quite a poor articulation mold for a Black Series figure, surprising-wise, but it is a repaint or a redo of the original Django Black Series figure that we saw. It was refitted to be the Mandalorian Loyalist that we saw as a Walmart exclusive, and now it is the Target exclusive Mandalorian Warrior. He comes with no guns. We still have the same exact leg layout, which means that the holsters are attached to the leg right here. It does still give us some rotation of the leg, but the holster comes with it as you turn the leg, obviously. We have knee joints. Now, the joints are very stiff in this particular figure, this mold figure, so be careful as you're moving the joints. You can see we have the exposed joints right there, but we have butterfly joints in the knee, which is nice. We have some pretty decent, actually, leg articulation, which is interesting because the feet specifically, are the boots, the design of the boots just make it kind of difficult to do most things with. So regardless of the leg articulation, standing him up is still going to be difficult in these little booties. Moving on up, we get some pretty basic, pretty good leg articulation, which is funny because we get some pretty bad upward articulation. So we don't have much of a Shakira hip right there. His arms, the pauldrons do go into the armor right there, which is it's a meh design, and the arms really do not have that much give. So they don't have the ability for him to bring the gun really up to his face. It's interesting. The gauntlets get in the way. But yeah, the Mandalorian Warrior, this model really does not have that great articulation, which is seemingly fine for the holiday figure. I hope they update this model sometime soon, especially if they're going to keep throwing Mandalorians at us. Talking pros and cons for these figures. Now, obviously, they are a great addition of holiday cheer to add to our Star Wars collection. These figures are addition to the main line. They are all Black Series figures, and they do not take away from the main line of figures that we see annually. Now, this is good to think about because when people complain or gripe about these, it's not taking anything away from us. It's just adding to some of the fun if you like to participate. One of the cons for me has to be articulation of the molds. Now, I will say that the Clone Trooper seems to have an updated articulation mold, so it's feeling a little bit better. But this Mandalorian Warrior, which we've been seeing for several years across the Black Series in different exclusives, is still a little bit janky. Between his boots, his stance, and his arms, there's not much posability we get out of this figure. despite how fun he looks with his different paint decos. Another con would have to be the price boost. Now, last year, the exact same figures, same boxing, were the regular $20, $22, I believe they were for the exclusive. And this year, these ones are clocking in at $26, I think $26.50. I would certainly recommend these figures to anybody that celebrates the holiday and anybody that, has their own space they like to decorate. It's great to have some of these seasonal options in the Star Wars collection. Thanks for watching another episode of Binary Sunset Review. As always, I've been Mike. If you haven't already done so, hit the subscribe button below. It really does help. Your likes and your views are always greatly appreciated. Have a great time out there with your holiday and your new year. I hope you're being good to yourself and have some fun New Year's resolutions planned out. Have a great day out there. Stay safe, stay sane, and remember, the Force will be with you, always.
I'm just a simple man trying to make my way in the universe.